Hey everyone! In this video we're going to cover 3 tips based on science to learn better, faster, and remember what you learn so you can apply it to your school. So I'm reading this book, How We Learn by Benedict Carey, and it covers a lot of the science around learning. And you can even apply these things to non-academic activities. I just know that many of my subscribers are students, so that's how I want to kind of apply this knowledge. But this is important stuff that is often overlooked or not understood, and that's the big tragedy of it. A lot of these proven scientific techniques, some of which have been discovered decades or centuries ago and have worked consistently for rote memory and have proven to do so, fail to be something that is taught in schools or even really taught at all to help students learn better. So you can apply this to your career and so forth, but let's just start talking about these in the school dynamic. And this is the best time to talk about them because now more than ever, it's going to be difficult because we're filming this during quarantine and remote education. So most people have to rely on their computers and themselves and their room to stay accountable. And for some, that's going to be more tougher than ever. There's more distractions than ever. You're going to get lazy, you're going to get weirded out, and you're going to procrastinate more than ever. So without further ado, the first tip has to do with repeated frequency of learning. Study after study has proven that you are more likely to remember certain things or improve at a certain skill if you practice them multiple times a week rather than once a week. The idea here is that each time you go back to them, even if it's just for 20 minutes versus 2 hours of cramming the night before, you're constantly revisiting those areas of your brain and building the neural chemistry, the neural wiring required to succeed, to retain that knowledge. So please, please, please don't just wait until the night before and spend 6 hours trying to cram for an exam. You can spend less time overall and remember it better if you did like 20 minutes every other day for the couple weeks leading up to the exam. Repeated frequency, even in smaller doses, works so much better. So that's the first tip. The second tip has to do with studying and learning through different environments. Most people make the mistake of just sticking to one ideal environment to learn a skill or study. Whether that's dancing or performing or that is studying for a history exam. They have this ideal comforting environment, whether that's in a ballroom or in their bedroom. And that's the only way they learn, and they have to have their blanket and so forth. Well, what happens when you don't have those ideal circumstances? That environment changes, and it will on test day, on performance day. Well, what ends up happening is you start to lose your comfort, your feel, and your memory starts to fade. That's why people do dress rehearsals. Not only does it kind of get you in the state and the environment of the actual performance, but it also gets you thinking of what could go wrong or what might be different during the actual performance. Similarly, for studying, I encourage you to find tons of different environments, tons of different situations to study in so that you aren't dependent on one. Most people fail because of this. They get distracted or they're uncomfortable in that new setting. Don't rely on certain props being in certain positions. Try different environments. Go to a library, go to a coffee shop. Work in settings that are maybe even a little noisier than usual, maybe a little more distracting than usual, because on test day, who's to say that you're going to have this peaceful, calm setting with the meditation music playing in the background? Probably not. There's going to be seat shuffling, noise everywhere, or it's just going to be a different pressure-filled environment. And then the third and final tip I have for you today is set aside certain periods of time to do concentrated effort followed by short breaks. The brain works best when it has these short replenishing breaks. Just like your body, you need to stretch its comfort zone, not too much but not too little, so that that muscle grows. But also you need to replenish and let it recover so that you can feel refreshed and go back to it. Now, when you're at the gym and bodybuilding, that might mean 10 reps and then rest for 2 minutes before starting your next set. For your brain, it might be something like every 30 minutes, every hour, take a 10-minute break where you're walking out in nature. Your breaks actually have to be breaks. So if you're taking those breaks to do more reading or checking your email or your news or playing video games, how much rest are you actually getting compared to actually replenishing it by letting it just relax, not having it think? And that's why I recommend taking a walk in nature, or just relaxing and getting out of your house and taking a walk, or just something that doesn't require you to be on an electronic again. So those are the 3 tips. Hope they helped. Hit that subscribe button.